to the latest episode of BAM! That's Boris and Matt Weekly, the show where we love to chat about sports, the show where we love to chat about some entertainment, and we bring it all together to chat some sports entertainment. I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by Matt.
Bonjour. How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well. We got a potpourri for you today. Lots of random topics, sampling some NCAA basketball conference tournament season, Boris. Big comebacks in the actual professional basketball league, big trades in hockey, retirements, awards, the whole shebang-a-bang. But how are you doing today, big homie?
I'm doing fantastic. Just having like my this is like my one day of just like taking it a little tranquilo, man. This week's been crazy. It's just been, I don't even know how much I've worked. I have to do my my card, my time sheet for tomorrow, and I'm just like I'm giddy to see what I've reached, because I've been literally working like 12 hours minimum a day. Last week, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. The reason why is because kind of hinted a little bit at it, but I wanted to make sure that it was all the information was out there. So the company that I work for got acquired by an American company. Good stuff. I'm pumped. I'm ready. But I got to make sure that my whole team is good. My customers are good. Everyone's happy. Everyone's not nervous. So it's just a lot of work, right? When you're at that level, just got to make sure that everyone is good to go and happy and not nervous, scared. And then, you got to reassure yourself that everything's going to be good. So that's been crazy on, the real life front, to say the least. It's been very long days and very long days. Early starts, late ends, and it's just been super tiring. So that's pretty much it. So today's kind of like my one day of rest, and then this week is gonna be super busy, but I think I'm gonna take a few days the following week just to take a breather, because this week, just looking at my calendar, you see my calendar sometimes when we're trying to figure out when we're gonna record. It's like back to back meetings. So that's kind of how this week is.
Nice, man. Well, it's good that you're busy, but you could be too busy. You definitely look tired, homie, but gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, man. Do you get overtime for passing that sweet 40-hour a week mark? No.
Oh God, no. Come on. No, but I am lucky that I do get loo time. So do I use the loo time? We'll see. But that's why I accumulate so much vacation, right? I already have a lot, but the loo time is crazy. Loo time kicks in way after 40 hours. But that's the tech industry, right? You don't really get overtime. You get overtime if you get a beeper, if you're on call, right? If you're DevOps, what we consider DevOps, or IT, things like that, critical roles like that, where shit can go wrong and your company can lose money if they need you, right?
Understood. Gotcha. Well, that sucks, but at the same time, I'm sure like I said, you got to do what you got to do, buddy, and you stack that paper while you can, homie.
That's the thing, right? That's exactly it. But no, you know what? Overall, though, all things considered, I am doing good. It's just been, like I said, the week's just been crazy, man. So yeah, my attention's been all over the place, and still trying to keep sane overall. But man, it's been good. It's been overall good. Saw a friend tonight. Earlier today, we're recording on Sunday night. Ooh, surprise, we've recorded different times. And it was good. It was honestly good times catching up with her. I've known this friend literally since the first day of grade 9. So it's always a fun time to catch up with good old Monica. It's good. It's good. But so it's just so much to catch up on. But c'est la vie.
No doubt, man. That's good that you saw an old friend, though. You got to definitely take some Boris time too, man. So I'm glad that you got that in. That's very good. Glad to hear that, brother. And, the Jays are starting soon. There's at least that to keep you going.
We have a couple days of spring training down. I was actually chatting with Agnew this weekend. Well, I chat with him almost every day, but specifically this weekend because of the Jays, the godfather of this place. Yeah. We were chatting a lot of Jays, and because they started this weekend. Yesterday they faced the Pirates. So Saturday they faced the Pirates. Gotta get used to saying the day rather than yesterday, tomorrow, today. Saturday they faced the Pirates. We won that game. That was a fun game, but we got the Pittsburgh feed. To Sunday, we had the Jays feed with the new broadcast team and everything. Joe Siddle, he's a lot of fun. I like that guy. I think it's going to be a fun year on the broadcast side. Now let's see how the team is, right? The team is super different, but we'll see how that's going. We lost it today against the Yankees, but it's spring training. Who cares? You know what we should talk about next week? The World Baseball Classic.
Oh, very interesting. When is that?
March 7th.
Oh, beautiful. So yeah, that is coming up soon. Yeah, man, that's a great call. We definitely should preview that next week here on the BAM show. I'm into it.
Yeah, man. So that's that. Watch the Dodgers on Saturday, actually. Also, I think it's going to be a long season for the Dodgers, which is good. You know what? It's one of those things where I want Roberts fired so badly. I'm almost willing to have a shitty year, but I know it's not going to happen.
That's hilarious.
The Dodgers are the Dodgers, right? Like they're a good team regardless. But yeah, I just want Roberts gone so bad. Speaking of the Dodgers and the NL West, Machado's new contract.
Oh, I didn't even see it. What is it? Can you pull that up?
You didn't see that? It's an 11-year, $350 million contract.
Oh, that's for, Manny Machado re-signs with the San Diego Padres. There you go. 11-year extension, $350 million. He is staying in San Diego to play for the Wales Vagina Padres. Very interesting. I thought he was going to leave. He's kind of like a malcontent, but I guess like whatever. If
a team is stupid to sign an older player for 11 years, why wouldn't he sign?
Fair enough. Someone was going to give him that money. I think if not San Diego,
for 11 years.
Else. Maybe not.
He would have gotten he would have gotten the average. Yeah. Yes. Sure. Does he deserve it? Fuck no. But he would have gotten the average. But no team would have given him 11 years worth of that.
That makes a lot of sense. Currently, Manny Machado, he is a little bit down, I would say, from where we expected him to be. Maybe is that fair? Like he's not quite at his full potential, but he's also not a spring chicken. He's 30 years old right now. He's turning 31 in July.
That's what I mean. If a team is stupid to sign you for 11 years at that age, why wouldn't you sign? Right? Like I would look. So those are the terms. 11 years. $350 million. I want to see the breakdown because I'm pretty sure it would be a front-loaded contract.
I think so. It has to be. But yeah, I don't know. I think Manny Machado, one of the Hall of Fame, six-time Gold Glove here, according to BaseballReference.com. He's earned his pay. But yeah, you're right about the 11 years. No other team would have given him that, a contract extending until he's 42. Ooh.
Yeah, in baseball. Like, if he was a catcher, okay, I can see that. But a field player, okay, you know what saved him? You know what has saved him? The fact that there is a DH league around now.
That's definitely helping. Yeah, he is. Yeah, everyone has a DH, not just the American League in baseball, which I hate, actually. I like
hate
the pitchers batting, but I hate it. But whatever, we're old men yelling at clouds. At some point, we're going to be like, completely out of touch on that one. But as of right now, I think we represent the majority of fans. Screw the friggin' DH in the National League. But it does help Manny Machado greatly.
Have you seen what happened? Speaking of old men and set in their ways and yelling at clouds, did you see what happened? Yes, it's only spring training, But there was already controversy with this pitch clock.
Yeah, absolutely. And Machado was one of the guys who was talking about it. Players are not happy with the pitch clock. There are mostly batters are taking strikes, it seems like, because they're not getting in time. Pitchers are pretty much ready to go, although there have been some pitchers who have taken balls because they weren't ready to pitch in time. But by and large, it feels like it's the batters who are kind of more affected by this right now.
I'm not surprised. Can you imagine a Garcia Parra? He always gets struck out. So this is okay. So let's explain to the awesome listeners what's going on. So yesterday, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, game on the line, 2 outs. What happens? The batter takes too long. The umpire calls for the game. The runner starts running to first, thinking that he got the ball. But no, he was not set up properly in the batter's box. He got strike. He got the third strike, strikeout, game over.
That's crazy. Do you remember what game that was?
It's on the BAM page. I put the clip there on the BAM page.
Oh, nice. On the BAM Facebook page?
On the BAM Facebook page. That's right.
There you go.
Yoo-hoo.
Nice plug, homie. Also, strange Mario sound effect there, but we're gonna roll with it. And that's
my plug.
Gonna
voice.
Be awesome. There you go. It's gonna be awesome when something like that costs a team a playoff spot this year. And I'm dead serious about that. Yeah, actually, I have a startup baseball keeper league going with these new rules and stuff. It's a good time to start a new keeper league in baseball. So I'm quite excited for the baseball season in all facets. Jays should be good, although the team's a little less likable, man. We all loved Lourdes. We all love Teoscar. They're both gone. We got this
Here's the thing, buddy.
show kid now, whatever.
Don't get so connected to players. That's the issue with Toronto.
True.
Toronto gets way too connected to their players in every sport. So when someone leaves for whatever reason, man, Toronto takes it so badly. It's like they're getting broken up with.
Well, it was a likable bunch, man. It was just a cool bunch of players to cheer for.
Likable all you want. They didn't win.
All right, fair, but it wasn't Teoscar and Lourdes' fault. It was the fact that we didn't have a bullpen. We were saying that all of last season, literally. But anyway, I don't know. We're going to see. I'm still excited for the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm just saying. They traded 2 of my favorite players, so obviously that stings a bit.
Yeah, well, it happens, man. It was the Boston-Atlanta game that this happened in. And yeah, it is on the Facebook, on the BAM Facebook page. You can find that. BAM Weekly is the group name. Add us. Have fun. There's a lot of conversation going on. I'm loving this. I'm loving all the sports chatter that's happening on this page.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. Yeah, small but dedicated fan base. I love it, and we're going to continue to grow here. Let's hope.
Yep. All right, so that's that, man. So yeah, baseball rules. We're gonna talk a little more in depth about all the rule changes and stuff. But I just wanted to quickly bring up that holy crap, the pitch count, or not the pitch count, the pitch clock is already costing games, and it's only spring training. I don't know. This is going back to like when we were talking about the Super Bowl, right? Like if you're following the rules by the book, this is the issue that you encounter where the game just you take the fun out of the game almost.
To some extent, yes, but this is a good rule to speed up the game, which has come wildly to it's way out of whack. Games are way too long, so this rule is necessary. I don't think it's taking any of the fun out of the game. I think this is adding some fun to the game.
If more, yes, I mostly agree with you. It's not taking the fun out of it, but because similar to how I keep saying, I hate the fact that they took off the there's no more, what do you call it? The shift. Batters need to learn how to bat same way that batters need to learn how to get ready faster, right? Like it's just one of those things. And let's be honest. Well, last week we were talking about ratings in sports and how ratings are falling in sports, and in baseball, the average game was taking way too long. Dude, the playoff games are almost unwatchable, unbearable to watch sometimes because the playoff games were taking almost 4 hours, right? Just for 9 innings. If the game goes longer, that's more than 4 hours. Like, it's crazy how long these games take. And, the pitch clock at least brought that average down by like I believe it's half an hour in AAA.
Yeah, it was a significant chunk of time out, and that's exactly what we need in baseball. I'm excited. There are some dramatic rule changes, man. It's going to be a chaotic first season, and I cannot wait to see how it plays out. That's part of the reason I think too why Toronto made the moves that they did, brought in the players that they did.
Yeah, that's a great call. I never even considered that. I'm just, I'm still bitter about going to that game and the way that it all went down. Like, all cards on the table. I'm bitter about that. I get very bitter in sports. So, yeah, we're going to be talking the rule changes the closer we get to the season. We'll talk about the World Baseball Classic next weekend because I'm a fan of international sports. I'm a sucker for international sports, and the World Baseball Classic is a really fun one because the players actually do give a shit. They do care about that. Kudos to baseball players for actually caring about the sport that they play for.
Yeah, man, absolutely nothing more to add to the baseball chatter, homie. Let's Blue Jays. Okay, let's play ball is my final thought.
Are we ready to talk about Timo, and everything that's happened in the NHL?
Yes, so Timo Meier has been traded from the San Jose Sharks to the New Jersey Devils. Other than Pat Kane and Erik Karlsson, who probably won't be traded, this is the biggest horse in the NHL trade deadline, and he has moved to the New Jersey Devils. So I have a friend who is a New Jersey Devil, who is a San Jose Sharks fan, the team that traded Timo Meier to the New Jersey Devils. His name is Kyle Romaniuk. He used to be on the Fear the Fin podcast. He has since moved to Australia, given up the podcasting world. But so I texted him the picture. The Devils have won the Timo Meier sweepstakes. New Jersey has acquired the star winger and defenseman Scott Harrington from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for rookie Fabian Zetterlund, forward Andreas Janssen, prospects Shakir this is a tough one. Mukhamadulian, right? Shakir Mukhamadulian and Nikita Okachuk. So 4 prospects, a 2023 first round pick, 2024 conditional first round pick. 4 prospects, 2 draft picks for Timo Meier and Scott Harrington. Texted that picture to my San Jose Shark buddy. Good friend of mine has been covering the Sharks, watching them since he was a kid. His response: "This is fucking horrendous." Mike Greer got taken out behind the woodshed and beaten with a sledgehammer by Fitzgerald. So I texted back, LMAO. And then, you did not get that A prospect you wanted, LOL. It is a poo-poo platter. Kyle texts back, they didn't even get a B. Shakir is maybe a B, but he's tall and not that great, and all the issues he had when he was drafted are still there. He hasn't developed. This is such a bad trade. So all right. That is how the Shark fan reaction is generally. I've seen some people saying, "Oh, it's decent trade." 1 or 2 people on Twitter saying the Devils gave up too much, which is ridiculous.
That's not.
But the general consensus is the Sharks did not get enough for Timo Meier. No A+ prospects. No real interesting draft picks because the Devils are very good.
Yeah, well, here's the okay, so I'm of 2 minds here. I think sometimes people forget the fact that all the GMs know what every GM needs, right? Like if you're the Leafs, you are going to pay a premium for a defenseman because every bloody team knows what you need. So here's the thing. San Jose clearly rebuilding, clearly trying to offload, clearly trying to get anything they can for good old Timo Meier at this point. So rather than get nothing in a few months, you might as well get something right now. So I think that's kind of the mindset that they were going with. And it also goes to show you the mindset of the San Jose Sharks where, this is where the franchise is right now in the competitive cycle, so to speak, right? They are officially rebuilding.
Absolutely, yeah. It is a quantity over quality trade, maybe, but they got a lot of things. They got 6 pieces, which could theoretically all be in the lineup at some point in the next 3 years, right? Hopefully that is the goal. So, if it works out for the Sharks, we'll see. I am surprised that they did not get that A-plus prospect just because we've heard like St. Louis offered some interesting pieces. Obviously, the Leafs were said to be kicking around. There were a couple teams, Vegas. Although Vegas might not have that prospect. Vegas might have the same kind of trade to offer that New Jersey did here. But New Jersey does have some very, very high-end prospects that they were able to hold on to while making this trade.
So Carolina Hurricanes, the Blues, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Devils were the 4 major teams that they were talking to.
There you go. And it's a huge win for the Devils just because they didn't have to trade Nemec, who they picked really high in the last draft. They didn't have to trade any of their A++. Even Alexander Holtz, who's taken a step back, he didn't even get traded in this deal. So it's a big win for the New Jersey Devils, who are gearing up for a Stanley Cup run this season. They are now one of the teams that we have to worry about as a contender in the National Hockey League for the next 5 to 10 years. Man, the Devils are here. They have arrived.
They are. It's crazy. It's crazy. Good for them. Good for them. It sucks for the San Jose Sharks, because San Jose Sharks traditionally have never been bad. They've had shitty seasons, but they've traditionally never been in the shitter, right?
Yeah, not since like 91 when they came in. They made the playoffs really early, upset Detroit. They were like the Sacramento Kings of the National Hockey League for a very long time, or the Phoenix Suns, like that 2005 7 seconds or less Suns. They were that in the NHL, that high-octane, entertaining team that made it almost all the way, but never won the big one. They made a final, I think, twice, maybe only once. Did they make the final and lose to Pittsburgh, or did they make 2 finals?
I want to say
a 3-0 lead in a series.
My gut
I think
says
it was only once.
Yeah.
I think they lost one Stanley Cup final to Pittsburgh. I want to say 2016. That might be incorrect. But yeah, man, the San Jose Sharks, it's a down period. I've always had a soft spot for that team. I like the teal jerseys. Miami Dolphins fan. Shout out the Teal Brotherhood. And my buddy Kyle's a big Sharks fan, you know, so always like the Sharks. I hope they figure it out. But I do think Mike Greer kind of got fleeced a little bit. Like, they should have gotten more for Timo Meier, brother.
Agreed. I like the Sharks. You know what I like about the Sharks? The very, very loyal fan base out in San Jose. Why? There's a very logical reason why the Sharks are a good franchise. Attendance is well done and high, and beautiful arena. Amazing sightlines. Honestly, super cheap. And wherever you sit, great view. But there's a reason why they have great attendance.
Why is that?
San Jose is right outside of San Francisco. San Francisco is a tech hub. Engineers from Canada are very famous for moving to San Francisco. There's a shit ton of Canadians in the San Jose, the Bay Area. That's why.
There you go. And yeah, lots of Canadian transplant fans for the San Jose Sharks for sure. It makes a lot of sense.
Yep. It's crazy. Yeah. It's good though. Like this. That's when the NHL is smart about where to put a team.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So yeah, that pretty much concludes Hockey Talk. Trade deadline is Friday, March 3rd. So by the time our next BAM podcast rolls around, we can give you the trade deadline wrap up. But the biggest fish is already gone. Classic NHL trade deadline. The biggest players get moved the weekend before the deadline, and the deadline itself is boring. But hopefully Pat Kane can get moved at the trade deadline to the New York Rangers. That will be a big story.
Yeah, so everyone assumes, just like Jake put on the BAM Facebook page, it's New York, right? It's
because he has a no trade and he's an expiring contract after the season, right? So he can either sign with New York or only accept a trade to New York. So I think that's why everyone's expecting him to end up in New York sometime, somehow. And yeah, I don't think it's going to happen at the deadline, but that is if it's going to happen, that if something's going to happen at the trade deadline, it's going to be Pat Kane to the New York Rangers.
Yeah. I don't see the price for a part-timer, knowing that he's more than likely going to sign with New York in the offseason, going to be too high, right? So I can either see him staying and signing with New York in the offseason, or just going to New York now and signing a new contract just to get it over with.
Exactly. I think it's going to be probably the former. But there, you know, who knows? He could even accept a trade to Seattle or Vegas or Toronto or somewhere if they come off the top rope with a huge offer just to try to win a Stanley Cup, win a playoff round. It would make sense for a team to do that, and maybe Pat Kane would be willing. Yeah, man, maybe Pat Kane would be willing to help the Maple Leafs get out of the first round. Maybe he'd be willing to put him on his back. No, but Austin Matthews and Patrick Kane playing together, the U.S. boys winning the Maple Leafs the Stanley Cup. There's a strange bit of irony in that, you know?
You have no idea how much this American guy, this American lad prays for that. You have no idea. It's kind of similar to TFC, right? TFC back in 2016, 17, 15, but 16 and 17 when they made it to the final, 17 when they finally won, were led by Josie Altidore and Michael Bradley, the two good old American boys.
Your boys, yeah. And now we're led by a motley crew of players. We didn't get the win TFC in the most recent game, but the squad's looking good. We should make the playoffs. Theoretically, we're one of the best teams in the MLS. No, this year on paper.
On paper, yeah, we're on paper. Are we okay, on paper? So, you know, we're kind of like the Clippers of the MLS on paper.
I see.
Yeah, we're great, but I don't think they just don't play well as a team still. Having said that, we're shifting.
Season's
MLS
young
now. Insigne injured in the first game. That's a huge kick in the gonads.
Indeed, yes.
So that really hurt the game. TFC played half decent. They did battle back, down 1-0 at the half. They ended up 2-1, but in classic TFC form, they let a goal in the 91st minute, and then MLS seems to be using World Cup extra time. So in the 97th, 98th minute, they let in a second goal to lose 3-2. So that was a real kick in the balls for any TFC supporter. But I gotta say, I saw it coming. TFC, for some reason, they left the gas pedal, right? They didn't keep it going. They focused too much on the defense, and their defense just wasn't the best. They gave DC United way too many opportunities to score.
Yeah, defense wins championships, baby, and that's gonna come with team chemistry and effort, and people knowing their positions, knowing their place on the squad. That's gonna exactly, and shutting their mouth, if you will, Boris. So yeah, that's gonna come with time. TFC, I'm still encouraged, but yeah, that was kind of a disastrous loss. Watching the highlights, it was a comedy.
I am encouraged. And next week, we'll run through. You know what? I'm going to bring Phil. We're going to talk some MLS next week.
Do it. When's the soccer podcast?
We're talking about that. We're trying to bring in another person. It'll probably happen within the next few weeks, but it's going to be good because I don't know if you know this, and I don't think anyone realized this, but you know all the issues with the American coach, right? Greg Berhalter, he got let go. There was a lot of issues. He did some misconduct when he was younger, and this was all brought to light by the wife of his by the parents, I guess, of a player that he sat during the World Cup. There was a lot of drama. Okay. Soccer parents being soccer parents. People accusing people of stuff. U.S. soccer, pandemonium. We broke this story on our podcast. Unofficially.
What do you mean?
So, when the U.S. played, I forget who they were playing. I want to say Iran during the last group stage game. My friend was there. He was in the VIP section. And my friend, we're all connected, right? We all know people. So he was getting word that something weird is going on in the America camp, and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about the fact that the coach, who his wife was best friends with this player's mom, that's the player who got benched, and there was some stuff going back and forth. And we were the first podcast to actually legitimately talk about some of these issues. Fast forward 2 weeks later, it comes out that, this whole blow up happened and accusations started coming from the Reina camp to saying like, hey, Greg Berhalter, beat up his wife when they were younger.
Jesus Christ. Well,
right?
Yeah, that's shite. Yeah, I don't even want to take credit for that one.
No. We just said, like, we heard rumblings. We heard what was going to come down. We didn't go on the record to talk about it on the show, but we just said, like, people are going to be hearing about something in the next few weeks.
Nice, and indeed they did. Jesus Christ. Well, so he's out as the national team coach?
Yep, he is for now. Yeah, he is. I shouldn't say for now. I don't know why I said for now. He's out. I don't think they were going to re-sign him, to be honest, but that kind of solidified things. But the poor kid, man, the poor kid, Reina, his dad, his parents are just like acting goofs and like really ruining his prospects for any coach to trust them. Because why would you trust the parent? If you can't trust the parents, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's like a Lonzo Ball situation.
Yeah, that's exactly what I akin it to.
There you go. Good transition to basketball now, I guess, if we want.
I watched the
LeBron
game this
James. Yeah, I caught the highlights. LeBron James with the biggest comeback of the season to beat the Dallas Mavericks. The Los Angeles Lakers have life, although your boy LeBron was limping after the game. Kind of hurt himself in the third quarter there a little bit.
His back, it takes a lot to carry your team on your back. Holy crap.
That's a fucking
30 points down.
Yes, 27-point hole, the biggest comeback in the NBA season. Lakers defeat the Mavericks 111-108. You watched the game.
Yeah, it was a fun game. Very fun game. Dude, it was frustrating watching Kyrie Irving. Oh, you should have seen the smug smile on his face throughout the entire game up until the fourth quarter.
Amazing. Yeah, so the Mavericks, Luka Doncic, arguably the greatest basketball player alive right now. It's him or Giannis. And Kyrie Irving together on the Mavericks. Kyrie, former partner of LeBron James. They won a title together in Cleveland. And then Kyrie went off the deep end. He's a flat earther and an anti-vaxxer and possibly an anti-Semite. It's neither here nor there. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, they are a Batman and Robin. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they are a Batman and Robin. And it was, a battle of four superheroes. It was something of a Marvel movie here. And the dramatic comeback, I think I would go as far as to say the baby faces in this scenario, in this season, LeBron James and Anthony Davis with the victory.
Depends who you ask.
Depends who you ask. This year, this time, I love Luka, but I'm cheering for LeBron to make the playoffs and do some damage. The year that he breaks the scoring record, Anthony Davis healthy. I hope the Lakers are all right this year.
Here's a fun stat. This is the first time. So the Lakers won this game, making 14 fewer three-pointers than Dallas.
Wow. Lots of free throws, I guess? How did that happen?
LeBron, honestly, dude, he was just like, even though LeBron got, 20-something points, honestly, they were just running. They just ran in, and Dallas couldn't stop them, so there was a lot of fouls, right? They fouled out a lot of bonus points. That's how they won, and some great defense in that last quarter and a little bit.
Anthony Davis, when he wants to be, is an incredible defender. He had a great game, too. 30 points, 15 rebounds. As the Knight Rider theme plays on my phone to signify that it's time for me to check the laundry, Boris. Anyway, man, what a fun game this was. And
it was.
Yeah, man, the Western Conference is going to be quite a treat in the NBA.
Yeah. Oh man, it really will be. I think the playoffs are going to be a lot of fun this year because going into this game, the Mavericks were in sixth place with do you have the records in front of you? I think it was 32-28, and then the Lakers had like a flipped record, and they were in 13th place. 6th and 13th being separated by 6 games.
Yeah, it is pretty insane. I will pull up the records right now. So yes, the Dallas Mavericks 32-30 at this moment. Boris nailed it. So they're still in 6th. So yeah, the top 10 in the West, the play-in tournament right now would be the Pelicans, the Jazz, the Timberwolves, and the Warriors. They're all around 500. Warriors 30 and 30, Timberwolves 31 and 31, Jazz 31 and 31, Pelicans 30 and 31. There are also the Thunder at 11 and the Trailblazers at 12 and the Lakers at 13 lurking. All of those teams can make the playoffs. The 6 teams that are locked into the playoffs right now in the West: 6, the Mavericks 32 and 30, Clippers 33 and 29, and the Suns 33 and 29. They're 4th and 5th. The Sacramento Kings are 3rd in the West right now, Boris, 35 and 25. How about them Kings?
Yeah. Did we call that? Didn't we say they were going to be half decent?
We said they were going to be in the play-in this year, but I did not expect that. I certainly didn't. But hey, more power to you, Sacramento Kings. 2nd in the West, Memphis Grizzlies, and 1st in the West, Denver Nuggets, 42 and 19. They're 5 games up on the Grizzlies. The Nuggets are sick.
Yep. Talking about the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
The West
Finish
is
this.
quite interesting. Yeah, I'll get through the East real quick, too. So, yeah, the East play-in teams, it looks like it's probably going to be the Wizards, the Raptors, and the Hawks for sure in the play-in, 10, 9, 8. Maybe the Bulls could catch the Wizards or the Pacers could catch the Wizards. I doubt the Magic will. So, yeah, it's looking like the current 10 seed, the Washington Wizards, 28 and 32. 9 seed, Toronto Raptors, 30 and 32. 8 seed, Atlanta Hawks, 31 and 30. And then the Miami Heat, the 7th seed in the East, 32 and 29. That's probably looking like the play-in tournament. Maybe the Bulls or the Pacers will squeak in.
Yep. I can see the Bulls squeaking in somehow.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. One thing, I think the Heat will probably move up because the Knicks here at 6th in the East, 35 and 27. The Brooklyn Nets, 5th in the East, 34 and 26. They've traded Kyrie. They've traded Durant. They still have some good players, but I think they're going to fall into the play-in. You know, they'll still probably be in the top 10, but they're going to fall into the play-in in the final 20 games of the NBA season. Then going to the top 4 in the Eastern Conference, Cleveland Cavaliers, 39 and 25, having a great season. Philadelphia 76ers at this moment, 39 and 20, so they have a lot of games to play still. Milwaukee Bucks 43 and 17 and Boston Celtics 44 and 17. Currently the best team in the NBA, the Boston Celtics by winning percentage.
At 44 and 17. That's a far cry from 10 losses, 50, it's like I like to see this. I like to see this in the NBA.
Yeah, a little more parity. We've seen the Warriors go 73 and 9. So it's pretty cool to see already a team with 17 losses being the best team in the NBA.
Okay, so we talked about that game, the Dallas Mavericks versus the LA Lakers from Sunday afternoon. That's still probably the second best game I've seen this week.
What was the best?
Oh, Russell Westbrook's debut with the Clippers as he went on to face the Sacramento Kings. 176-175, double overtime win for the Kings.
Wow, for the Kings. Wow. That's unbelievable. Do you think a game like that helps the NBA? 175, 174, double overtime bonanza of scoring. Do fans like that at this point? Is that going to help? Is that cool?
Oh, that's a tough question. Okay. Here's the thing about the NBA, and I'm not sure what side of the fence I lean on. As I talk, I might choose a side. So I've heard arguments being said where the NBA is kind of like a game of chess. It's back and forth, right? And the entire game is important because you don't know what's going to happen in the beginning, middle, end, and it's like a game of chess where there's a lot of strategy, blah 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 blah. Every second counts. Flip side to that argument is game doesn't matter until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
And with so many threes that you can erase a deficit so quickly. Yeah, man. I don't know. I've watched less basketball this year than in a lot of years previous, although a big reason for that is that the Raptors are worse than we all thought they were going to be. I mostly watch Raptors games. I have watched a couple random Jokic games. I watched LeBron break the record, but here and there I'll watch some games, but I've watched a lot less basketball than usual.
Same here, honestly. Actually, you know what's funny? I've watched less Raptors games, but I've watched more everyone else. I'm watching the TNT national games.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that as much, but I've seen a few here and there. But for me personally, it's hurting. The current style of play is hurting my viewing, frequency.
Pleasure.
At least. Yes, indeed. But I do think it's cyclical. Like, I don't think the NBA is ruined. I think these things are all cyclical, and it'll change. Teams will react and counter, and basketball will become something else. It will evolve, and I'm excited for the next evolution, because right now I feel it's a little unwatchable. Good games are still good. I'll still watch the playoffs, but
What do you think is the next evolution? I have a theory on what it is.
Well, I think, I don't know. It's tough because teams are so in love with the three. I get that 3 points are worth more than 2 points. Like, you know what I mean? Like, math wise, it makes sense to take a bunch of threes, but we've lost just mentally. There's something to easy twos. You don't have to take terrible threes all game. I think more easy twos, for lack of a better term. It's just going to be more big men, more like mid-range stuff. And like Victor Wembanyama being 7'5" and being able to shoot threes and space the floor and do everything. He's just going to be, I don't know. It's hard to see where basketball is going. Someday everyone's going to be 7 foot. It's going to be a minimum requirement to get on the court, you know?
Yeah. So Lakers proved it today, right? Easy twos wins games. They can still win games. Easy twos is still a good strategy. I think what's going to end up happening is teams are just going to, I don't want to say start body checking players and get bigger players, but I think hitting that three is going to be a little harder.
Maybe. It's just defenses have to adjust to some extent, but they haven't, and that's why games are so unwatchable, because it's a lot of contested threes and bad threes over and over and over and over.
It's also a lot of stop, play, stop and go, just because of the contested threes. So I think that, I don't want to say they're going to introduce rule changes, but I think the style is going to be a little different. I don't know. We'll see. But I agree with you that it is harder to watch the NBA right now. It really, really is. But I don't know. We're in like that awkward phase, and we're in that awkward stage.
Yes, sir. That brings us to our final sports topic. College basketball. The only time of year when college basketball is fun. The only time of year when someone who went to Yale could be considered an underdog. Boris, it's March Madness. We love it, baby.
Okay, that's gold.
Thank you. So yeah, it's not quite March Madness time. What it is conference tournament time. So if you're unfamiliar with the structure of college basketball, in a quick nutshell, there are 32 conferences with like fucking 300 and dickety-2 teams spread out amongst these 32 conferences. If you win your conference tournament, you make the NCAA tournament no matter what. You are given an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. There are 32 conferences, 32 tournaments, 32 automatic bids, and that fun stuff begins Monday, February 27th. From that point forward, basically every game, not every single game, but basically every game in college basketball is a tournament game, and it's going to be a good time. It's always a party. If you're a gambler, you can make some money here and there doing some quick research, although there's lots of parity in college basketball this year, so proceed with caution on that front. But yeah, the tournaments begin with the Atlantic Sun tournament, Boris, February 27th, and then it just goes until Selection Sunday, which is March 12th, and then we get the big tournament, the big ol' NCAA bracket, the tournament of 64. I think that starts on the 15th or the 16th of March.
Yeah, something like that. It's mid-March. Well, I think it's the 16th, the Thursday. It's always the Thursday, so it's the 16th.
Yeah, they do the play-in games, like, because it's not 64 anymore. It's like 68 or 70 or however the fuck much. I think it's 68, and they do some play-in games on the 14th and 15th.
This is why I love college basketball and these tournament games. Tournament-like games. Arizona State. Did you see this? Beating number 7 Arizona with a 60-foot buzzer beater. Desmond Cambridge Jr. hits a 60-foot shot at the buzzer as Arizona State rallied from a 10-point deficit, and they beat number 7th ranked Arizona State 89-88 in a Pac-12 men's basketball game. That's why I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's so sick when that happens in the tournament too. But yeah, all these teams are playing for their, like, tomorrow. There's 2 random college basketball games: Florida Gulf Coast versus Queens University, and Bellarmine versus North Florida. That's the winner go home in this Atlantic Sun Conference. I don't know. I find college basketball so fascinating. You know, it's so many athletes. The vast majority of them are not going to go on to play professional basketball. And if they do, the vast majority of those are not doing it in the NBA. So this is the biggest game of all these kids' lives. And it's a lot of fun to watch college basketball. It's not as polished as the NBA, but you could like it more. It's similar to watching an indie versus WWE, if you want to use that, parallel. Sometimes the indie matches are a little bit of a train wreck, but you catch a good indie match, it's even better than the real thing.
The way you dude,
just insulting everyone possible with that. Yeah. But no, I love college basketball and independent wrestling. I was just being a dick.
Oh my God, that was gold. That was amazing. Go college basketball, go indie wrestling. I love them both.
Yes.
No,
and
but
go Atlantic Sun Conference.
Oh my! Have you ever been to a March Madness game?
No, I have not. I would love to, but yeah, no, I definitely need to. Have you?
Yes, I have, dude. So much fun. Okay, this is random. A few years ago, I drove from Toronto to Kansas City. 17-hour drive total. We made a pit stop in St. Louis at like 7 in the morning, and we noticed that there was just a lot of people out for breakfast and stuff, and there's a big mofos out. And I'm like, okay, it's not basketball season, so what the hell is going on? I asked someone, and it was the NCAA finals for the wrestling. Amateur wrestling.
Oh.
In St. Louis. Bought a ticket, watch some amateur wrestling for a few hours.
How is that?
It was fun. It was insanely fun. No one won the tournament with a broken freaking neck.
Oh. Boo. Yeah, were there any 5-star classics? Did someone go through a table? Were there any angles? Was there storylines? Was it just booked like Tony Khan books AEW Dark? Just random matches, no build? Come on, NCAA. Dead in 5 years.
What happened to you tonight?
I just went off the deep end there. No, I don't know. What am I supposed to say about amateur wrestling? I'm just trying to have some fun on this podcast.
I know, dude. I know. You're just going balls deep in this today. I love it. No, it was a lot of fun. And then so a few years ago, I also caught some games in Buffalo for basketball. A lot of fun. If you ever get the opportunity, go do it, man. Just go, just do it. Fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, they do games in Buffalo every couple of years too. I need to do that. Buffalo and Detroit get games fairly often. Those aren't too hard to get to from old Toronto.
No, it's 90 minutes one direction, 4 hours the other.
There you go, brother. So yeah, that must be done. Well, we're segueing pretty well. You want to use this as a natural segue to talk about pro wrestling and the Ring of Honor television taping?
Oh my God, I thought you were going to say something horrendous there, but no. Yes, let's talk about ROH. So I don't want to go through the results or anything, but I kind of just want to, I just want to talk about this. So as I mentioned on the Rampage Ramble earlier on Sunday, this Thursday, March the 2nd, Ring of Honor is back on the Honor Club $9.99. You can watch some good old Ring of Honor and get their back library. But this Thursday, they are starting the new show, and it was filmed this weekend over both Saturday and Sunday. And I believe it's the main event of the first show, where we're going to see Claudio Castagnoli versus are Fox. I'm saying that because it was announced officially on their social medias. But, there's a lot of like a mixed reaction towards these tapings.
Yeah, I'm not enthused. I've seen people say they're canceling Honor Club already, which is like, oof, that's a rough one. But yeah, no, this honestly, if you read the results, you can judge for yourself. If you watch the shows, you will be able to judge for yourself. So I can't make a hard and fast judgment yet. But to me, reading these results and looking at how these shows go, sure sounds and feels a lot like AEW Dark. No?
It does. A lot of random stuff. There were some angles. It looks like we know what the main event of Supercard of Honor is going to be. I'm assuming that your boy is going to be in the main event of that, though, with the angles that they shot. But you never know. You don't know how these we don't know about tonight's tapings, right? So
yeah, well, we're getting pretty close to spoiling, so I think we should just kind of leave it. But Ring of Honor has some mixed reaction for sure for these tapings, man.
Yep. But man, you know what?
At the end of the day, the fans aren't. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, the fans seem a little 50-50, but I'm gonna give it the old college try.
Absolutely, we can't judge yet. I'm sure there's going to be some entertaining matches, some competitive bouts here, but just looking at the names and knowing how Tony Khan has run Dark and Dark Elevation for the last X years, it just feels an awful lot like that television show.
Yeah, because like looking at the results, what was there, like 14 plus matches on Saturday?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, I believe.
Yeah.
19. I think they're either 18 or 19.
That's a lot. And from the times, it seems like a lot of them are a little on the shorter side, right?
Yes, absolutely. There are some like competitive matches that you would see maybe on a Dynamite, we'll say maybe on a Rampage, like some matches that'll
Let's
probably
say Rampage.
be
don't besmirch Dynamite.
Yeah. Fair enough. There are a couple Dynamite matches, but by and large, Rampage at best. And yeah, we're talking probably 10 to 15 minute max. I'm guessing. Again, I was not there. I am just going off what I am reading from the Wrestling Observer board and website.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on Reddit. Reddit's I forget why I don't go to Reddit. Or every time I go on Reddit, I remember why I don't go on Reddit too often.
Yeah, around Christmas, I was going on Reddit way too much. I've definitely scaled the Reddit back big time in 2023, and I don't miss it at all. I've also deleted my Twitter, and I feel like I'm way happier. I still check Twitter from time to time because I do have an account for like my website sportsfap.com, which I rarely update, but that's just kind of for like my sports writings and various things anyway. So yeah, I'll still check Twitter like once a week or so, and I'm reminded how little I miss it. Indeed, all things, even the Wrestling Observer board, like I'll check for like news every couple days, and I'm like, man, like even this, though it's not as bad as it once was, it can be pretty toxic around there too.
Yeah, to say the least. All right, do you want to talk some Impact?
Segue time. No, I was going to say segue time. Segue. That's a perfect segue for the Wrestling Observer Awards. But do you want to close with the awards? Because that's a good main event for this podcast.
Yeah, let's close with the awards. We're going to still talk some Impact. I want to talk some KEIJI MUTOs, the card.
Yes.
Two matches. Two matches.
Yes,
really, I
great
focus
call.
On.
Okay, Boris, I'm going to hand you the ball, take a quick little peach nut here, and you, my friend, talk some Impact. I'll be back halfway through your review.
All right. So Impact Wrestling, No Surrender was this past Friday. I'm just going to skip straight into No Surrender. Overall, my first impressions was the show wasn't the best. You had some good in-ring, but overall, I think that, I don't know, it just didn't feel like the shows that we've been getting from Impact. Just remember, this was only an Impact Plus special. This wasn't a full-blown pay-per-view, so I'm going to take that into consideration. We do know what the main event at Rebellion is going to be here in Toronto. I'll talk about that in a second because there was a four-way match that determined that. So let's go through the No Surrender card. I'll try to go a little quicker not going to go blow by blow, but give you the matches, the ending, and my thoughts. So let's start with the pre-show. The first match was Giselle Shaw versus Deonna Purrazzo. Giselle Shaw's really trying to prove that she is now a singles wrestler. I think they're going to push her as a singles wrestler, and her first hurdle, her first roadblock was Deonna Purrazzo. So Giselle Shaw did end up beating Deonna Purrazzo. She hits a running knee to the jaw to get a shock victory. Okay match, and I like the fact that, they are giving Giselle Shaw, that push. And in my opinion, this does not hurt Deonna Purrazzo whatsoever. The second match was one of the better matches of the entire show, and that was Jonathan Gresham versus Mike Bailey. This match was a lot of fun. When you're getting a Gresham-Mike Bailey match, it's going to be a good match. Gresham ends up getting the big W here. I think that this was really good. Bailey hits a tornado kick, missed the Ultimo weapon. Gresham rolls up Bailey for the shock win. So those are two very good matches for the pre-show. Jumping into the main card, Frankie Kazarian versus Khan from the Design match. Frankie Kazarian wins he ends up winning. And this is a really weird ending. Angels hops on the ring apron. He distracts the referee. Frankie hits him. Callahan grabbed a chair, but he accidentally, hits Khan with it. Frankie hits his catapult stunner for the pin. Okay match. All right. Death Dolls, Jessica, Havoc, and Taya Valkyrie defeated the Hex. Allison Kay and Marty Bell. So they retained the Impact Women's Tag Team titles. I was kind of really hoping for the Hex to win. I like the Death Dolls, but the Hex had such a great run in NWA. You bring them here to Impact. First major match was a title shot, and they lose to Allison Kay and Marty Bell. Interesting booking. Sure, why not? It was an all right match.
I would have much preferred, I agree with you, to see the Hex win, although I get it. You bring them in, lose their first match. They have somewhere to build to in their Impact careers. But I like the Hex a lot. I agree.
I do. Joe Hendry versus Moose in a dot combat match. Impact Wrestling.
I heard there was this. Yes, I heard there was a Sega Dreamcast spot similar to the old ECW spot where Tommy Dreamer would hit Raven with all kinds of things off in a Super Nintendo or a VCR. I guess Joe Hendry hit Moose with a Dreamcast in this thing, right?
Hendry then puts VR glasses on Moose's head. And we get a split screen as Moose sold that he was entertained by what he was watching. Hendry hit a stunner onto a pile of keyboard keys for a near fall because no thumbtacks. It was keyboard keys because this is for the Digital Media Championship. Moose hits a low blow punt kick. Hendry avoided a spear. They trade roll-ups. Hendry gets a handful of tights to score the win. Yada, yada, yada.
I like it. Minor note. The Digital Media Championship should be on digital media. You have a portion of the show on YouTube. Why isn't this on YouTube? Isn't it the YouTube title? Am I wrong? Am I missing something?
Oh, you're missing a lot of stuff, I guess. I don't know. I agree wholeheartedly with you. This title should be on the pre-show solely. But
yeah, it seems like it. Just to quote the great Jonah Hill, cool, I'll just go fuck myself.
You're on a roll tonight. Holy crap. I love it. Okay.
Got this decaf in me.
That's what it is. You don't have real caffeine inside you.
It's this placebo effect. A small amount of real caffeine. They don't get all of it. It's like reduced caf, really.
Mickie James cuts an awesome promo. She says she's now in her next chapter, that she's champion again. A lot of back and forth. She basically calls out Bully Ray and Misha Slamovich. Oh, do I really want to talk about this? The busted open stuff. Dreamer and Ray back and forth, yada yada yada. Stuff happens. They hate each other.
So this is building towards Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer in a busted open match because of Busted Open Radio. I assume that's First Blood. Cool.
Yep. Steve Macklin, Brian Myers, PCO, and Heath. They were in a four-way, and Steve Macklin got his big W. Steve Macklin versus the champion at Rebellion in Toronto.
What a random WWE Universe mode match this is. This is Quebecer Pierre versus Heath Slater versus Kurt Hawkins. I don't even remember Steve Macklin's name in the Forgotten Sons. Was he Steve Cutler?
I don't know.
That,
he was
right?
forgotten.
Yeah, I have forgotten the Forgotten Son's name. But yeah, a Forgotten Son versus an Edgehead versus a member of the Core, Corre, versus a Quebecer in a fatal four-way for the European title.
Yep. That's pretty much what it felt like. But Steve Macklin wins. It was a okay match, right? I don't know. I'm not fully sold on Macklin. I'm not fully sold on him. I know Josh Alexander is going to get a great match out of him, but I'm not fully sold just yet. Josh Alexander at home, dude, I cannot wait for that match at Rebellion.
No doubt. We've seen him rise to the occasion before, though. He had a really good match or two with Chris Bay. He's had some good stuff in the X division. Macklin's okay.
Yep. Trey Miguel shows up. He's angry that he's not on the show. He said that if AJ Styles or Samoa Joe were still the X Division champions, they'd definitely be on the show. He kind of taunts PCO, who's still on the floor from the last match. PCO gets up, he gets choke slammed, and I guess that's a way to set up PCO and Trey Miguel for the X Division championship.
Huh. All right. Well, yeah, PCO. You think he's going to win the X Division title, the old man title push?
No. I think look, so Trey Miguel had an awesome Monsters Ball match against Crazy Steve this past Thursday. I think they're really trying to build him up as this tough motherfucker. So I think he's going to have a hellacious match against PCO again to build him up. He'll eventually lose, I'm going to say, to Diener or Callahan, to one of those two for the title. And we're going to see Trey Miguel versus Josh Alexander. And my guess is that Trey Miguel will be the one to dethrone Josh Alexander.
Except for that last part. I'm with you at the end there.
I think that's where it's going.
The in-between part where Sami Callahan takes the title off Trey Miguel, big thumbs down for me. But I do like Trey Miguel being the one to dethrone Josh Alexander. Also, we have hot breaking news off the wire. Boris, the Tampa Bay Lightning have acquired Tanner Jeannot from the Nashville Predators. That's a pretty good trade for Tampa. That's the kind of player they love in Tampa Bay. Hard-nosed man to play on the bottom six. He's a young player, but he's got a lot of grit. They traded Cal Foote, who is a good defensive prospect in Tampa. They moved him back to Nashville, and 5 draft picks. Apparently, a first,
protected
a second, a third. A first in 2025, I don't know if it's protected. The second in 2024, and then a third, a fourth, and a fifth in 2023. The second, third, fourth, and fifth are not protected at all. The first, I'm not sure, but it's 2025 first rounder. I don't think it's protected, but no word on that yet.
That's a win for Tampa.
Very interesting.
Win for Tampa.
It's a huge win for Tampa. Huge win for Tampa, I think. Yeah. Cal Foote might end up being good, though. That could be good for Nashville as well. But yeah, it's a perfect player for Tampa to slot into the top 6. Tough news for the Leafs to have to play against that guy in the playoffs, round 1.
Yep. Speaking of big wins, the Bullet Club, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Kenta got a huge win against Time Machine's Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Kushida. 20-minute match. Matthew, watch this match.
Yes. This might end up on the list. I've heard some great things about this match. It seems like it's lived up to the hype. We were talking about this for a couple weeks. Bullet Club versus Time Machine. I'm glad. So yeah, I'll definitely check this one out. Big homie.
Very, very good match. I really enjoyed this. This match was long. This match had a lot of near falls that made sense. You got your typical indie wrestling near falls shenanigans in the end. Kushida hits a moonsault out of nowhere. Ace Austin gets a roll up to pin Sabin. That's how it went down. Everyone, watch this match. Match of the night, in my opinion.
Nice. Wow, this was a stacked Impact card looking at it because they had two world title matches to close out the show here. Eh?
Yep.
Dang.
For an Impact Plus special, it was pretty like it was a stack card, but like I say, it wasn't their strongest card. I honestly think that what was good was good, what was bad was Impact.
Absolutely. Fair assessment. Well, let's talk about these two matches.
Mickie James defeats Masha Slamovich. This was a good match as well. Masha Slamovich is continuing to prove why she's awesome. She's doing some interesting stuff in the indies with GCW, but here on Impact, she's having a lot of fun. I think that this match was good. Masha hits a haluva kick. She hits a second one. She goes for a monkey flip, but Mickie blocked it and got a roll up out of nowhere. So here's at this point. So I was covering this show for Slam. I was having issues with Impact Plus, so I didn't watch this show until like midnight. The amount of roll-ups that ended matches really pissed me off.
Oh, your favorite spot. Were there distractions thrown in for stuff?
Roll-ups and distractions and roll-ups out of nowhere. And it was just like, oh, I know you want to get the three count, right? Fantastic. But you might as well just like do a DQ or something if you're going to constantly do roll. But having roll up after roll up after roll up, I think this is the fourth roll up of the night. It was way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, I'm not even watching this show, so I obviously have no argument. Yeah, dang.
Another great match. Josh Alexander defeats Rich Swann in 25 minutes, 15 seconds.
Awesome. Glad to see Rich Swann back in the main event. Love that man. All night long, Boris.
Okay, look. We know that Josh Alexander is good. This was Swann's comeback, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years and he hasn't really done too much. Yeah, he had an okay run with good old Willie Mack in the tag team division. But, this is someone who went up against Kenny Omega 2 years ago, right? And then he just disappeared. So this was Swann's, thankfully not his swan song. Needed to get that line in. But it was his good comeback. They were given the time to make this great. I really, 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 really like this. This was awesome. So Josh Alexander catches him after Swann goes for a handspring back stunner. He hits a pile driver, a second pile driver, and then a C4 spike pile driver to get the win. So he needed two pile drivers, a reversal, two pile drivers, and a C4 spike pile driver to win in 26 minutes.
Dang. Yeah, so they put over Rich pretty strong there, it sounds like. And I am here for it. That's good.
Yep. So all in all, like I say, okay match. I think the last three matches of the show, so Bullet Club, Mickie, and Josh Alexander were great. The undercard were more. I saw more misses than hits. The pre-show was the pre-show. Both matches made sense. Out of the pre-show, watch Jonathan Gresham versus Mike Bailey. They were given 11 minutes. But overall, I would give this show just above the Mendoza line.
Nice. All right, man. Fair enough. It's Impact here doing some good things other than Bully Ray. All right, so yeah, MUTO show. Quickly, let's talk about the two big matches from the MUTO show. We got to talk about champion versus champion. The New Japan IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada versus Noah GHC Heavyweight Champion Kaito Kiyomiya. And then, of course, Muta's retirement versus Naito. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Okada and Kaito Kiyomiya. This match went about 17-ish minutes, I think. Looking through my notes. Yes, 16:50 I got. Good match. Very good match. Kaito Kiyomiya, I want to see him in New Japan Pro Wrestling so bad to get this win back. I don't care whether he's Noah or New Japan wrestler. He's going to get this win back somehow because this match was great. Okada put on his best Hogan gimmick. Like, you know what we've always talked about, like Hogan, where he cheated to win. He's an asshole to win, even when he was the face. That was Okada in this match.
Yeah, he was the heel in this match. He played the heel. I did not watch it yet, but yeah, just from reports. You can tell that he was playing the heel just in the build to this match. He was playing the heels. So I can't wait to see it. The person on the Wrestling Observer website who wrote the Chick Fritz is his name. He wrote the review for this. He said this was his favorite match of the year so far, surpassing even the great Omega versus Osprey match. This Okada versus Kiyomiya is his easily my favorite of the year, he says. An extraordinary match. And he agrees. He hopes it's not the end of this pairing.
Yep. It's up there. It'll be up there on the list. It'll be top 5 of the list for sure, at least right now.
Ooh.
But I don't think it's number 1. I don't think it's number 1 just yet.
Fair enough. Yeah, I gotta get me arson gear and watch a couple of these matches here.
Dude,
the list of things to watch is building up.
Noah is fun. We gotta cover more Noah. I watch Noah here and there. I still try to watch wrestling for the fun of it. I don't talk about all the wrestling I watch. And Noah's one of the promotions. But I think that's gonna change a little bit. I want to give Noah a little bit of love. Because you know what I love the most about Noah?
What's that?
Their production.
Yeah, man, that's been getting a lot of love, especially the entrance that MUTO made in this final match, Naito versus MUTO. But yeah, Noah's production's been getting a lot of love on the internet since this show. So yes, KEIJI MUTO's final match, Tetsuya Naito versus KEIJI MUTO, the pomp, the circumstance. I guess it wasn't. Yeah, technically it wasn't because he had one more at the end of this thing. The secret main event.
Once again, Tetsuya Naito gets screwed.
Can't even main event at the Tokyo Dome. There was indeed a secret main event after this where Masahiro Chono ran in quotation marks, stumbled into the ring, cane in hand, and gave an STF to MUTO. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But yes, tell me about Naito versus MUTO. This was list worthy as well, right? Like Naito got a good match out of MUTO here, didn't he?
Naito. Oh my God. Like the fact that he was able to get a good match out of old man MUTO. And I don't mean old man in like in a mean way. I mean, the guy is beat up. He's wrestled so much over the past month and a half. He's had some insane matches over the past month and a half. Mainly the great Muda bye-bye, right? Like that match was crazy. Like just brutal for anyone. But a man of his age, come on. So Naito really, really put on a hell of a show. Dude, this match went 29 minutes. Naito won after a Destino. There was a few blocks. There was the usual Muda stuff. He tried to go for some Shining Wizards, but Naito had a answer for all that. He won with a Destino, as you just said. After the match, Muto challenged Masahiro Chono, who was at ringside doing some commentary. Chono accepted, and Tiger Hattori served as the special guest referee. This match only went under 2 minutes, and Chono submitted KEIJI MUTO to end the illustrious, legendary career.
Amazing, man. I can't wait to see this. Like you said, the production values that will be like, this is one that you can't watch on your phone or even your laptop. Like throw it on the TV if you can. You got to experience the whole thing loud. And yeah, I'm glad that they have a crowd that could have cheered. They had to wait this long. No wonder Muda retired 17 times. Took him longer to friggin' finish than the third Lord of the Rings movie. Just kept retiring and retiring and retiring again, Boris.
Yep,
but
great attendance.
It seems like it was a proper fight. Yes,
great attendance.
Yeah, what was the attendance?
31,000 compared to a little under less than that for Wrestle Kingdom. But this is, KEIJI MUTO's grand final pro wrestling last love.
No doubt, man. That is huge, though. Outdrew Wrestle Kingdom. Good for them. Good for Noah. Wow.
Yep. Very good for Noah. And like I said, production was great. Just the set looked beautiful.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Obviously, you can't quite compare KEIJI MUTO to Mickie James. And this is a whole podcast itself, maybe. But I feel like Tony Khan left a lot on the table by not signing Mickie James and doing this whole thing himself. He could have had a dedicated pay-per-view, a Mickie James retirement show, similar to the KEIJI MUTO show. He could have put it on pay-per-view. It could have sold a lot of tickets, and it's just TNA should do that. But it's something that AEW could have done to really bolster their women's division, and is have this Mickie James story happening in AEW.
Just a pay-per-view called Hard Country.
Well, they've already got that pay-per-view. That's on a different channel though, Boris. That's and the way they spell country, it's spelled differently. Anyway, let's the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards 2023, big homie. I think that's where we should go.
Can we remind, before we do this, can we please remind everyone that this is voted on by the fans, by the subscribers?
By the readers. You don't have to be a subscriber, I don't think. Maybe you do. I think it is just readers, friends, and well-wishers of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and read all of them because that is a 2-hour podcast in and of itself. But yeah, the Wrestler of the Year, Jon Moxley, edges out Roman Reigns. It was a close battle. Moxley won. Tag Team of the Year, FTR, makes sense. Best on Interviews, MJF 1, Jon Moxley 2, CM Punk 3. Sounds about right. Promotion of the Year, AEW 1, Stardom 2, WWE 3. So I think on our year-end show, I gave Stardom some love, but I said if you put a gun to my head for real, probably I would say WWE, excuse me. I don't think you could say All Elite Wrestling was the promotion of the year last year.
So I've been thinking about this.
The year of the brawl out. The year of the Great Bomb.
I agree with you. Here's the thing. AEW. Great first half. Great 3 quarters. That last quarter, though, was rough for AEW in every aspect. In every aspect. In every single aspect. From backstage to the shows to quality of the shows. I feel like Toronto got effing screwed with their Dynamite and Rampage because of just the sheer amount of wrestlers missing. There's a lot of turmoil in AEW for that last quarter, whereas on the flip side, WWE had a pretty good, I would say, last 6 months of the year. So it depends, 6 on one, half a dozen of the other, right? Like, that's what it all came down to. But I think what was bad for AEW was really bad, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just so bad that you can't justify calling them the promotion of the year. Nor can you justify calling Tony Khan Booker of the Year, and he did win yet again the Booker of the Year award.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't care for that one at all. Like, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't.
Tony Khan, 372 votes. Rossi Ogawa from Stardom, 327 votes. And Triple H, Paul Levesque, 183 votes. So he only won by like 50 votes, but still, I think that's 50 votes too many. No offense to Tony Khan, who deserved it every previous year he won it, but this one was bad. He was not the Booker of the Year.
Again, look at where this is coming from. That's why I wanted to make a really important case that this is voted by people who lean on the Observer.
It's the friends and well-wishers of the Wrestling Observer Awards. That's what it is. So it's shaped around Dave Meltzer's tastes. It's the way it's going to be. But such is life. That's not even to say that Dave Meltzer is unfairly for AEW. I think he criticizes AEW the right amount. I think he's perfectly fair with his AEW takes these days. Anyway, there's maybe a time where he was pumping up AEW a little hard, but I think that was genuine. He was very excited for what AEW was bringing to the table.
But again, okay, you know what my takeaway from all this was? Let's move away from the tribalism AEW versus WWE stuff. You and I don't partake in that for the most part. I do jokingly because it's funny too. Dark sucks. But Stardom. Let's put some love on Stardom.
I don't watch it enough. Yeah, you watch it slightly more than me, but yes, it just seems some of the best matches for sure. And it just seems storytelling is good. People who are Stardom fans love Stardom. They've been fans for their whole lives, but it seems like once you really get into it, you stay with it and you get invested in these characters and they grow and they become, great wrestlers in front of your eyes. And then sometimes they go to WWE and become Oscar or Io Shirai or Sarai, who got a rough deal in NXT 2.0. She needs to come back. But yeah, man, Stardom never disappoints when we watch it. Even bad Stardom shows are still good because they're so much fun.
For the most part. All right, Matt. Anything else before we wrap things up? You hear the music.
Yeah, no, the worst ofs were fun too. I'm still gonna give 2 or 3 of them while the music is going. Worst television show, WWE Raw. Sounds about right.
Yep.
Worst match of the year, McAfee versus McMahon. Oh God, at WrestleMania, that was terrible. Ric Flair's last match was number 2 worst of the year. Also bad. Worst feud of the year, Miz versus Dexter Lumis. That's about right. Worst promotion of the year, WWE edged out NWA and Control Your Narrative. That's hot garbage. That is a garbage sandwich on the beach. That is, get the fuck out of here. NWA is the worst promotion by far. Control Your Narrative is barely even a thing. I don't even think you can count that as a promotion. That's pretty much where I wanted to leave it. Promoter of the year, Booker of the year, Tony Khan. You should have signed Mickey James. That's my hot take.
All right, there you go. Thank you for listening to us. As always, we are Bam, Boris, and Matt, and we chat some sports. We chat some entertainment. We bring it all together, chat some sports, and keep it locked here on Sunday Night's Main Event. All the shows, all the reviews, all the pop culture. That's Sunday Night's Main Event. Thank you for listening to us as always. I know this was a kind of like a jam-packed, kind of all over the place kind of show, but that's what you get here on BAM. We talk a little bit about everything, but not a lot about one thing. I gotta put that on a shirt.
It's not going to sell very many shirts. It's pretty wordy.
I said for myself. I don't care if it's so.
Fair enough. Yeah, put it on your own shirt. Yeah, man.
He's Matt. I'm Boris. You need some caffeine. Stay tranquilo.
Yeah. That's what I need at 11 o'clock Eastern here. Dig it.